Alright, hello and welcome to the only Pokemon tier list that really matters. We are only going over Generation 1 in this one, and keep in mind that these are Pokemon, so the tier list will be a little bit skewed compared to real humans. With that said, we want to get straight into it, and let's start off with Bulbasaur, who I would put in the probably not a good idea tier, because uh, well, it's like, vines. If you're into bondage and stuff, you could have some interesting interactions with Bulbasaur, but generally, I don't think this is a good choice. Next up, Ivysaur. It kind of goes without saying. It's very similar here, similar situation. I would put Ivysaur maybe one step below because Bulbasaur at least has the cute eyes. Could get yeah. I'm not going to continue that sentence. All right, Venusaur. Venusaur, I think is fat as well and would probably kill you if you tried. So I think Venusaur goes straight into the not tier. Although you could argue for the what is wrong with you tier as well. However, I'm going to put Venusaur straight in the not tier. Charmander. Uh, yeah, the fire I think is arguably a factor that could play into a higher rating for some people. But for me, I would also put that into what is wrong with you because, yeah. Next up, Charmeleon. Charmeleon has a bit of a humanoid form, so I would actually, and it, unlike fuck's the first name? Charmander, he is not as small and childlike, which I think makes it more okay. Um, Although it's probably still not a good idea due to the flame. Third, yeah, Charizard would probably kill you if you tried as well. But we do have Shrek. In the Shrek movie, Donkey does this, and I think if you succeeded, that would give you some serious street cred. So I would honestly put Charizard in the neutral face bruh tier. I think that's a pretty good placement, just for the credit you get alone if you succeed. Alright, Squirtle. Squirtle is a little bit cute, and can help you clean up afterwards with water, which can always be useful. So I think this is a neutral tier for me. War Turtle, bit of the same story. I think War Turtle may be slightly higher placed than Squirtle because it's not as childlike, which yeah, that is yeah, the bruh tier for that one. Blastoise, same thing. Cleanup is very helped by the massive cannons here, firing water. Of course, I would still think that you might dive, so maybe not a good idea. Okay, I mean Caterpie, yep. That's I mean it's more feasible than the other Pokemon here. You'd probably not hurt yourself at least, which does make it quite a lot easier for you. So I would put that in the bruh tier. Metapod. Oh, here we go. Metapod. I mean, as a man, this does not really interest me as a straight male. But if you were not straight, this could easily be a damn girl tier or damn guy tier. If you've seen the episode where Ash fights another Metapod with his Metapod, you know directly what I'm talking about. But still, for the just possibility, I would still put Metapod in maybe the baddie tier, honestly, because yeah. Then we have Butterfree, also quite feasible, maybe. Um, you'd still have to like recognize the fact that you are trying to have intercourse with a butterfly, which is probably not a good idea, but it's around like a Caterpie tier, probably. It's a bit more feminine than some other Pokemon, which can be good if you're straight. So let's put it at the top of the tier. Right, Weedle. Weedle is like Caterpie, except that Weedle is also poisonous and has spikes on it. So like, yeah, I would put it one step below Caterpie. Alright, Kakuna. Very similar to Metapod here, but he does not have the fame factor that Metapod has, so one step below seems reasonable to me. Maybe here. Beedrill, yeah, I don't think this is anything that anyone would find attractive whatsoever. Bees are generally not known for their attractiveness. Although, if you've seen Bee Movie, then yeah, I mean, if you've seen Bee Movie, then maybe that changes. But I would still put this in the what is wrong with you tier. Below Charmander. Pidgey, it's just a bird. People have probably done this before to regular birds. Not that I condone that, of course. But it is more feasible than some of the other characters on this list, so I'll put this in a probably not a good idea tier. Pidgeot, it's a bigger bird, maybe more dangerous to try, so we would put that slightly lower, maybe here. No, actually, like here. Yep. Pidgeot, same thing, but even worse, because it's an even bigger bird, and you might end up severely damaged. Birds can have razor sharp claws, which, yeah, it's not very good. Alright, Ratata, you would catch some sort of disease, definitely. And those teeth do not help its oral aspects either, but it's still probably more feasible than some of these. But honestly, because of the disease factor, I would put it in the what is wrong with you tier. Below Ivysaur. Raticate, that's even worse. It's a bigger rat. Goes without saying. More disease, more teeth. Yep, I'll put that in the not tier, honestly. Spearow, same story as Pidgey, but a bit fiercer of a bird. Is known for using Fury Attack in the games. Still not a good idea. Maybe here. Alright, we got Bulbasaur, should be higher up, like there. Fearow, yeah, I think Fearow is a bit more like wicked and, a bit crooked neck. It's not very appealing features for this reason we are discussing. So let's put that in the what is wrong with you tier. Ekans, I think this is one that kind of makes sense. It has numerous possibilities with the wrapping, with the mouth, but it is a poison type, which might not be very good either. So we'll put this around here. Yeah. Arbok, basically the same as Ekans, but I'm pretty sure Arbok has teeth. But still, I would put it around here. Pikachu. Yeah, electricity can be utilized for this. It is fairly cute. It has red cheeks, all quite feminine features. You still have to yeah, we're putting that in the tier. Raichu, probably the same thing, a bit. Yeah, it's like an average looking rat. That can work maybe. Sandshrew, I think, is also like kind of reasonable to attempt, but also a tier. Sandslash has claws like Sandshrew, or it's like Sandshrew, but it has claws and spikes on it, so that seems like a terrible idea. If you really want to hurt yourself, then sure. But I myself, I'm putting this in the what is wrong with you tier. Nidoran female, keyword female here, makes it a bit more appealing, perhaps, because you're at least guaranteed to have a female here. And for many of you, it might be the only time you have the chance of interacting with one. So I'm actually going to put that in the... No, it's still like a rat though, and yeah, it's going there. Nidorina female. Nidorina is a bit of a sexier name than Nidoran, so that goes slightly higher. And then of course, here we have one of the arguably best Pokemon on this list, you could argue, because Nidoqueen has queen in its name. Like, you know, you could tell her yas during, and also she has what appears to be tits, so that's a solid choice. That's a damn girl tier choice right there. Not many of those here, but yeah. Nidoran male, like I said, I'm going into this from a straight perspective, and from that perspective, Nidoran male is worse than Nidoran female, so it's going in this tier. Nidorina, or is it still that? Probably. Nidorino, actually. Same thing, a bit worse because spikes, more spikes. It's not a good thing. I'd actually put that in the what is wrong with you tier. Nidoking is at least a bit more humanoid than Nidoran or Nidorino, but still would probably kill you. So yeah, but for the humanoid aspect, sure. Clefairy, I think this is a very feminine looking Pokemon, a pink fluffy ball, sort of like a marshmallow, you know, that's at least somewhat appealing, maybe. That goes in the baddie tier. Clefable, on the other hand, has this derpy, like retarded look on its face, which I don't think sits very well with a lot of people. Maybe could even be considered creepy. However, the fact that it's a normal type means that it's pretty vanilla, and it's also probably got the texture of something soft, so that goes in at the highest of tier. Vulpix, yep, no comment. Ninetales, I think also, just like Vulpix, has a bit of those qualities that like degenerates enjoy. I'm obviously not a degenerate, but in making this list, and to be fair to those types of people, I would still put it in the baddie tier, because it has a bit of grace to it as well. Jigglypuff, I mean, could probably do the thing with the eyes, you know, crossing its eyes. Let's say that's like pretty similar to Clefairy. I would put it right next to Clefairy. Also known as the balloon Pokemon. Do with that what you will. Wigglytuff, also like not the worst option you could pick out of this list. Big eyes, pink, probably decent texture. I'd say Wigglytuff is around here, a little bit more grown up than the other ones. Zubat, this, I mean, there is Zubat has no eyes, so there's nothing to worry about there, but it does have teeth on the insides of its mouth, which would ruin some aspects. Still, it is a large mouth, and it should go around here, I think. But it is a poison type, so it can't be as good as Ekans, Golbat, same as Zubat, but even larger, so that's just, I think it all depends on your own size, really, which one you go for out of these two. For me, obviously, I would put it higher than Zubat. Oddish is like it's probably not as immoral, because like in this world we consider plants to be less of actual sentient beings than animals, which would maybe make it more okay in the moral sense. And for that reason, I would put Oddish around here. Gloom, I mean, look at that mouth, bro. Like, you already got it. Like, that would be simple to do. There would be no issues there at all. And also, we got the like feminine hair here. We even got a little hat, bro. That's a baddie tier for sure. High baddie tier. Valplume does have an orifice in its flower. However, honestly, that might seal the deal a little bit, but it's still a bit lower than Gloom because no lubrication will be provided for you. Paris, that goes straight in the not tier. I don't even need to explain that one. Parasect, if you've read its Pokédex entry, it's also a straight not tier. Venonat, I mean, it's like fluffy, still a bug, which will gross a lot of people out, but it's arguably in this tier. Actually, it goes here. Never mind. Venomoth, pretty similar to Butterfree. However, it's a bit more spiky and I don't know. I don't like it as much. Diglett also has some benefits, perhaps, if like to all of the Pride fans out here, but for me, I would say that is a probably not a good idea. Dugtrio, same thing as Diglett, however you get 3, so maybe that's a plus for you, but it's a minus for me. Meowth, this one is somewhat humanoid. Meowth can actually speak, so you could do some talking during, which could be a benefit perhaps, but you still have to reconcile with the fact that you're having sex with a cat. So that goes in the probably not a good idea. Persian cannot speak. However, it still goes higher than Meowth. Do I really need to explain this? I think maybe I do, but I don't feel like doing that. So we're moving on to Psyduck, who is a duck. Yeah, I don't know about this one. This one is pretty difficult to rank. Fortunately, Psyduck has headaches very often, which you could use to your advantage if you were trying to not, like if you were in a partnership with Psyduck, you would have that issue, which might not actually be an issue, because I butchered that, but some people will get what I'm saying. Whatever, it goes in the probably not a good idea, because the reason you would want the headaches is to avoid the sex altogether anyway. So yep, seems about right. Golduck, same thing, but Golduck, like is a bit more scary than Psyduck, and probably would force you into it more if you were to partner with Golduck. So I would put that in the what is wrong with you tier. Actually, it is a humanoid form, however, so for that reason I will move it up to probably not a good idea. Mankey, I mean, it has hands. It has hands. Yep. Primeape has even stronger hands. Do with that what you will. I'd still say it goes around here. Growlithe, that just feels very wrong, and it's also a fire type. What is wrong with you? Arcanine, same thing. All you furries out there are disgusting. We're placing this in the what is wrong with you tier as well. Poliwag has a mouth, has a spinny thing, so maybe it could hypnotize you afterwards to make you forget about what just happened. We're placing that in the neutral tier. Poliwag, no wait, that's Poliwag. This is Poliwhirl. Would he rock your world? Get it? Not really, probably, but maybe. We're putting him here. Poliwrath, around here. Abra, is somewhat humanoid, but also a child, so that's in the what is wrong with you tier. Kadabra, I mean, at least more legal, perhaps. Maybe here. Alakazam, has a mustache, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it is quite humanoid. Still, like, you could maybe get away with this one legally, so going there too. Machop has fists, but also a bit of a child. Machoke, I think this is like a fairly good choice as well, because it's like the most humanoid Pokemon, and it can actually be female as well, which puts it in the baddie tier, I would say. Machamp, 4 arms, could do more things, but I think Machamp is a bit too gay for me. Sorry. It goes around here. Bellsprout, this is an easy high tier, because it's a plant, so you wouldn't feel too bad, and also if you just look at the shape of its head, it makes sense. I would say Bellsprout is around here. Weepinbell, same thing as Bellsprout, but goddamn, that's almost perfect, right? Like that makes a lot of sense. If you've ever used a certain tool, this one is very similar looking to one of those. So honestly, I would put that top of damn girl. Victreebel has teeth, unlike the other two pre-evolutions, and I think that makes it a lot less appetizing, but still it carries some of the features of the other two, so maybe it goes around here. Why is this so high? I don't know. Whatever. These are not very well ordered. Tentacool, I mean, it has whip-like things that could constrict, and I don't know, it's a jellyfish. The what is the word? The consistency would probably be fairly good, so that goes in the neutral tier. Tentacruel, Same story, but a lot more tentacles. I mean, it makes sense, right? But it's probably not a good idea. Geodude is also too manly for me, bro. I don't know about that one, but it does have very solid looking fists. So in the terms of Pokemon, it's probably not that bad. And also it's a rock. We don't assign moral compass to having sex with rocks, except that it's degenerate. I just mean in the legal sense. Therefore, Geodude is a decent choice. Graveler, a bit of same stuff as Geodude, but a bit scarier as well. Would probably hurt you more. Because you still have to consider the fact that it's rock fists. So Golem, this is a bad choice. You don't have the hands as you do with the other two, and it's also a very large and heavy Pokemon. It could not, for example, be on top. That would not work. You would die. And trying from another angle would probably not result in anything good. So that goes straight in the not here for me. Ponyta. This is also a bit more feasible than some of the other ones, but you would burn yourself very badly, I would imagine. Therefore, it's probably not a good idea. Rapidash, same thing, but you would probably burn yourself even worse. That's not a good idea. Slowpoke. He won't remember anything, which I'm going to stop myself right there. Slowbro. I mean, he is a bro after all. He would probably let you if you ask nicely. Slowbro is a real homie. I would say even you could take off Slowbro's tail, maybe use that, but yeah, it's still maybe not the best. Magnemite, I don't see how you even attempt this one. I don't know about that one. Honestly, that might even be a not here. Due to the fact that it's an inanimate object, kind of, though, it's more morally okay, I think. Magneton, same story as Magnemite. Just, like, I don't know. I still don't know how you would even attempt this. Then we have Farfetch'd. He is a bird, and he could provide you dinner beforehand, so the romance could go on from there. However, it is still a bird, so I would put it near Pidgey. Doduo? Fuck, I didn't even know this was a Gen 1 Pokemon. You have two options, so you have a bit more choice in which one you want to abuse, but still, if you're abusing a bird, then what is wrong with you? Dodrio, you have three options, but you would still, yeah, I think that was a pretty good choice. Seal, good tongue. Put that in the neutral tier. Dugong, fairly cute, I guess. That is probably around seal tier. Grimer, I mean, it's like possible, right? Because you have one option here, but and like, consistency is shit. But like, still, if you're putting your genitalia near just toxic waste, then I don't think you're completely sane. So same thing with Mach. although Mach spelled backwards makes a lot of sense for this, so we are putting Mach a bit higher. Shelder is an easy damn girl tier. If you look at the shape of this, the tongue, the fact that it's an inanimate object, it's a golden opportunity, I would say. Cloyster, this is probably the highest tier you'll get, possibly, because it has all of the layers here. That is, if you are a straight male, or a lesbian female, that works as well, because you can see all of the parts here, the flaps, the clitoris, the Gaslight. I mean, this is also one of the ones where it's like hard to attempt. Probably it's a ghost. You're not certain it would work. So, and also like, just yeah, this one goes in the what is wrong with you tier. Haunter. This one is here. I don't need to explain myself. Gengar has. I mean, Gengar is just pretty cool overall. So I think if you succeed, you also get some clout. And I think for that reason, I would put him a bit higher, but still not a good idea. Onyx, it's probably too large to even attempt. I would say this is a death wish. So I'll put that in the not here. Drowsy can eat your dreams, not create new ones for you, because I don't think this is anyone's dream, but it is fairly humanoid. I'd say that's at least maybe worth a shot. Hypno, the pedophile Pokemon. I'm not a child, so this would not be ideal for me. However, it is a fairly humanoid Pokemon as well. It can be female, but it has a very large nose, and I'm not a big fan of large noses, so we are putting that below Drowsy. Krabby, I mean, you're not gonna die from it, right? But it's still a crab, you know. You don't want crabs either, which might be a big reason for putting it in the probably not a good idea tier. Kingler, same story, we're putting it in the same tier. It's literally the same Pokemon, just a bit bigger. Voltorb famously explodes, and I also don't see how you would attempt this. This is like a Magnemite type deal, except that you're even more likely to not survive the encounter. But you know, it's whatever. It goes about here. Electrode at least has a mouth. I think that puts it decently above Voltorb, but also famous for exploding. Execute, that is a bunch of eggs. You have many options. Maybe this option here, the cracked execute, is the best one, since it has like the yolk, and it seems to be the less most unalive, you know. Therefore this is a viable option, I would say. Maybe even the baddie tier. Exeggutor, this just a tree. I don't know, it's not as good as Execute because all of the fucking coconuts seem to be alive. But you know, maybe you could crack one of them and then you could try it, but I don't see this one being too easy. Cubone has mommy issues. That can be interesting, perhaps. But it's still a child, so what is wrong with you? Marowak. Same thing as Cube, or not really, but it's like a semi-humanoid figure. Can hold things, can hold other things as well, I imagine. Therefore, maybe that's a decent choice. Hitmonlee. If you're into getting kicked in places, then this is an easy S tier. However, I'm not, so I would put this in the neutral tier. Hitmonchan. Hitmonchan is more humanoid. It even has like almost a skirt. I think for that reason, Hitmonchan is actually a decent option. I would put that above Machop. Lickitung, another easy choice here. If you're seeing what I'm seeing, then this is a damn girl tier. Coughing. This is like Mock and Grimer, but it's even worse because it's just a ball of smog. You would be coughing as you were trying, and it would be a straight not here because that's not. Yep. Then we have Wheezing. Same thing, but even more smog. That's even worse. Fun fact, Wheezing and Coughing were originally supposed to be named NY and LA, as in New York and Los Angeles. Pollution is a serious issue. Ruh-roh. Rhyhorn. Rhyhorn, I mean, it has horn in its name, you know, so add one letter to that, you have a regular Rhydon day. But this would still most likely kill you, and for that reason I'm putting it in the not here. Anything made of rocks is really hard to justify. Same thing with Rhydon, of course, but it's on two legs, which makes it a little bit more okay. Putting it here. Chansey, I mean, it even has eggs, man. Come on. You could, yep. However, it is fat, and I don't enjoy that in a lady. Therefore, it only goes in the baddie tier. Otherwise, it would be a very high tier one. Maybe around here. Tangela. I mean, this also seems just like a viable option. You could get entangled. Maybe you'd get trapped. That's not very good. But it's still like, if you look at these other Pokemon, it's probably, like I said, a viable option. Kangaskhan, that's a MILF. She has, or well, it's a mother at least. It has a child. You would have to obviously remove the child first, because no child should ever see what atrocities you're about to commit. But for the fact that it does have some humanoid features, it is a mom, so you have the I fucked a MILF status after you succeed. Therefore, it goes in the baddie tier. Maybe here. It's maybe here. Horsey would also work. Water for cleanup is always useful. That's a pretty good option as well. I would put that in the baddie tier. Seadra actually has the, if any of you have played the games, it has a poison point ability, which makes it gives you a 30% chance to get poisoned whenever you make contact. So it's a bit like the usual chicks you would pick up at clubs, you know, about the same rate of disease. Therefore, but it would probably not be as enjoyable either. So it's a big risk, and not a risk I would be willing to take, but one I could feasibly see being considered by some people. Goldeen, wow, that is something. In terms of Pokemon, this is probably one of the best choices you get. Fish are not considered as high status in the ethics department. Like, if someone says they had sex with a fish, you wouldn't really care that much. But if someone said, they had sex with a dog, then Jesus Christ. Double standard, man. Double standard, bro. Come on. Still, the lips, the eyes, very, very seductive Pokemon. Would actually put that in the shoddy suck like a vape tier. King, what the fuck is it? Sea King, of course. Well, it does still have the lips, but it loses a lot of feminine features, a lot of possible seduction abilities. Therefore, I would say Sea King is a lot lower. Biggest, massive drop in the evolutions here. It's very sad day for Sea King. We're actually placing him in the probably not a good idea tier. Staryu, this one I don't see how you would even attempt. I have no clue. That's about but it can help you with the water. But still, I don't know. Probably not a good idea. Starmie. I want to say Starmie is always female, but I could be wrong about that. But still, it's a bit higher than Staryu. Mr. Mime. I mean, it does have Mr. in its name, but even still, he does have some feminine features. He does have interesting hands. However, the fact that he's a clown and a bit weird makes it a bit sus. I don't know about that one. Scyther would definitely you would end up dead. So I think that one goes straight in the not here. Jinx, yep, this is obviously the highest tiered Pokemon. Do I even need to explain this? This is the Nicki Minaj Pokemon. This is one of the rare, genuinely fuckable Pokemon. This goes in the highest tier. This almost deserves its own tier. Electabuzz, electricity, hands, tail. What else is there to say? It doesn't look very appealing, but it could potentially work, maybe. But yeah, I'm still putting that there. Magmar is the same deal as most fire Pokemon, being that you would probably die. This goes here. Pinsir, that is absolutely fucking disgusting. No thank you. Tauros, I mean, it's at least a mammal, which, I mean, the people have attempted this for sure as well. So that, it can't be that bad. But still, if you attempt this, then why would you? Magikarp, I mean, like I mentioned with fish before, Magikarp is just like the male equivalent of a Goldeen, right? So probably decent. You could put this maybe here. Gyarados, also just, I mean, for me personally, the large body would be definitely a plus, because you know I have the issue of it being you know, the orifices are usually not to the same size. Therefore, I would put this a bit higher than some of the other ones, but it's still like a dragon thing. It's, yeah. Lapras, damn, bro, look at those eyes, man. That one is mildly okay as a Pokemon, maybe. Yeah, I'm not too sure about this one. Please let me know in the comments where you believe Lapras should be. Ditto. Alright, I completely forgot about Ditto. Man, Ditto is also Ditto deserves its own tier. Cheat on your girl. Boom. This is easily the best choice out of any Pokemon, period. Ditto can transform into any other organism, so you could just use this if you trained it well to transform into literally anyone. The only issue is the face might still be the same, like in the anime. However, considering the options you have available in the list of Pokemons, and like considering the fact that you can put bags over people's heads, this is the best Pokemon to choose out of any Pokemon in any generation. I think most people would agree with that. Eevee, I am not that degenerate. Please stop. Vape. Nope. No. I mean, we already know what you're thinking with this one. You don't need to continue that thought, because this one is still better than Eevee. Jolteon, I mean, it's just an Eevee with more spikes-ish, but I think it's fur still, which you know, that makes it less invasive, but it's still an electric type. Goes around here maybe. Flareon, I think you could argue Flareon is a bit more seductive than a Jolteon. However, if you're asking that question, you are fucked in the head. Porygon, this is also just like, okay, how are you even going to attempt this? Is it a duck? Is it a computer virus? Will it give you a virus? Who knows? It's probably not a good idea. Omanite, I mean, it's like one of the things as well, like, you know, it's almost not a living being, therefore do we consider this a living being? I don't know. I mean, it's just like it. I don't know. I wouldn't attempt it. Omastar just looks way more disgusting than an Omanite. Therefore, I would put this in what is wrong with you. Kabuto. This is a tough one, man. No, it looks too much like a head crab from Half-Life 2. Yeah, that really kills it, actually. Put it here. Kabutops, same thing as Scyther. I mean, almost same Pokemon. They could honestly evolve into this if you gave it a like hard on or something. Arrow. It's you also get like clout because you're almost doing, you know, Donkey's move from Shrek. It's not quite as epic as Charizard though, and therefore I would put it in the here. Snorlax is sleeping, so infer from that whatever you want. It is, however, it's a bit obese. Articuno, I think out of the 3 birds, Articuno is definitely the best choice. It has that beauty, I guess. No, that's not a good word, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Put it around here. Zapdos is probably the second best. Yeah, we'll just put these in the order they are in because I think that makes the most sense. But it's a large bird. It can fire lightning bolts. The fact that it's a legendary would also give you some clout. Therefore, here, Moltres is probably just the least appealing because of the fire, and it's like a lot of fire too. Like you could not manage that fire. If you brought Moltres home, you know your house would burn down. So there's that to consider as well. Dratini is like Ekans tier. You know, it's a snake. You don't have the poison type even. Dratini is like pretty good. Dragonair even better because, you know, honestly that's a baddie tier. Dragonite, this is like Charizard plus because this really almost does look like the donkey from or the dragon from Shrek, which gives it a plus in my book. And also you don't have the flames from Charizard, so this is also a baddie tier to be sure. Over Vaporeon. Mewtwo, one of the most humanoid Pokemon, would be pretty impressive as well. I would put Mewtwo here. Notably, nothing here in this area though. But hey, maybe if you lift the tail, who knows? Mew, this reminds me too much of a child. Therefore, Mew is not a good look. It's even based off an embryo, I believe. Yep, I convinced myself to put this even lower. Okay. And with that, we completed the most important tier list out of any tier list ever. I hope you didn't enjoy this, because if you did, there is something wrong with you. I tried to rank these as fairly as possible, and I think this is the objective list. If you have any objections, please leave them in the comments below, and I'll be happy to